Dear students, good morning to all. Our management asked to provide free online classes for your welfare because of contamination of coronavirus. Please use this opportunity. Don't waste time. You should not blame both teacher and parents. Please give your special attention towards this program. Thank you very much for your kindly cooperation. Today, I am going to teach about class 9th standard subject History 2 lesson Ancient Civilization. What is civilization? What is civilization? Civilization refers to advanced organized way of life. It is a modern way of life. Under this system, people adopted science, technology, trade, commerce, business. They established a political system, economical system, social system, cultural activities, construction of building, road system, waterways, airways, good means of transport and communication, generation of employment, industrial activities, marine activities, mining activities, export of goods, import of goods, transaction of currency, establishment of banking activities, insurance activities, maintenance of hygienic life, richest life. Under the civilization, people have to maintain proper and prosperous life of the society. There were only 4 ancient civilizations flourished in the world. These civilizations were flourished only in certain part of the world. These civilizations were not flourished in all parts of the country. Uncivilized countries, people were uneducated people, illiterates, hunters, gatherers, pastoralist people. These people maintained their life with this civilization through interaction. During the time of civilization, South India was the major emergency of Neolithic agro-pastoral communities. Dear students, what is civilization? Civilization is a advanced organized way of life. It is the modern way of life. Name the early civilizations which were flourished in the world. For example, Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Chinese civilization, Indus Valley civilization. During the time of civilization, which was the best example for emergency of Neolithic agro-pastoral community, South India. South India was the best example for emergency of Neolithic agro-pastoral communities. Next, we should explain about Egyptian civilization. Egyptian civilization was the oldest civilization in the world. Egypt lies in northeastern part of African continent. It is bounded by Red Sea on east, Mediterranean Sea on north, Nile River on south. Egyptian civilization was developed with the influence of Nile River. That's why Egypt is called Egypt of Nile. Nile River only which play a vital role for entire development of agriculture, entire development of irrigation facilities, navigation facilities in Egypt, which is the oldest civilization in the world, Egyptian civilization. Where does Egypt lie? Egypt lies in northeastern part of Africa. How it is bounded? It is bounded by Red Sea on east, Mediterranean Sea on north, Nile River on south. Why Egypt is called Egypt of Nile River? As the Nile River only which play a vital role for entire activities of entire development of Egypt, for development of Egyptian civilization also. That's why Egypt is called Egypt of Nile. Then pharaohs Egyptian kings were called pharaohs. They were treated as a divine forms. These kings appointed number of officials under their control for maintenance of their administration. For example, viziers, governors, mayors, and tax collectors. Entire social system was controlled by, entire social system was supported by work and production of artisans. Artisans included workers, laborers, farmers, peasants, carpenters, masons, potters, goldsmith, then coppersmith, then blacksmith. They are called artisans. Artisans only gave more attention for entire social activities. Kings became a owner of lands. Slavery was not common in this system. Who were called pharaohs? Egyptian kings were called pharaohs. How these kings were treated? These kings were treated as divine forms. Name the officials were appointed by these kings under their control for maintenance of administration. Viziers, governors, mayors, and tax collectors. Who supported entire social system? Artisans. Who are included in the artisans? Workers, laborers, farmers, peasants, carpenters, masons, cobblers, fishermen, goldsmith, coppersmith, then blacksmith also. Who became a owner of the land? Kings. What was not common in this system? Slavery system. Then agriculture and trade of Egyptians. Egyptians cultivated wheat, barley, millets, cotton, fruits, vegetables, and papyrus. Papyrus were used for manufacturing of rope mat, sandal, and papyrus. They domesticated group of cattle, sheep, and goats and pigs. They maintained trade with various countries. They imported gold, silver, and ivory from various countries. What did they cultivate? They cultivated wheat, barley, millets, cotton, fruits and vegetables, and papyrus. Name the goods were made up of papyrus. Papyrus were used for manufacturing of rope mat, saddles, and papyrus. What did they domesticate? They domesticated cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs. What did they import from various countries? They imported various countries. They imported gold, silver, and ivory from the various countries. Next, we would like to discuss about mummies of Egypt. Mummies of Egypt. Preserved dead body is called mummies. Preservation of dead body with the using of natron salt, combination of sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate. This process called mummification. After 40 days, the salt with which absorbed moisture of the dead body. After 40 days, the salt of this dead body was stored in the stone called coffin. It was called sarcophagus. What is called mummies? Preserved dead body is called mummies. What is called mummification? Preservation of dead body with using salt, saturn, with the combination of sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate. Name the salt which absorb the moisture of the dead body. Salt, saturn, and sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate. How long this salt which absorb the moisture? This salt which absorb the moisture from the dead body for 40 days. What is called sarcophagus? After observation of moisture from the dead body, this dead body was stored in the stone coffin is called a sarcophagus. Pyramids. What is called pyramids? Egyptians constructed pyramids as a dome after death of the body. Egyptians constructed pyramids as a dome. Pyramids were one of the world wonders. There are many world wonders in the world. For example, Taj Mahal in India, China's Great Wall in China, Hanging Garden in Babylonia, pyramids in Egypt, Great Chinese Wall in China, Moscow Bell in Russia. These are the best example of world wonders. Among the world wonders, pyramids in Egypt are one of the best world wonders. The pyramids which lie very near to Cairo is called Giza pyramids. Giza pyramids is the largest sculpture in the world. It was measured with 73 meters in length, 20 meters in height. Who constructed pyramids? Egyptians. Why did they construct the pyramids? As a dome. What are the pyramids? Pyramids are world wonders. Tell me, name some example of pyramids in the example of world wonders in the world. For example, Taj Mahal in India, pyramids in Egypt, Hanging Garden in Babylonia, Great Chinese Wall in China, Moscow Bell in Russia. Among the world wonders, pyramids in the Egypt is the best wonders. Name the pyramids which lie very near to Cairo. Giza pyramids. Which is the largest sculpture in the world? Giza pyramids. What is the measurement of the Giza pyramids? It was measured by 73 meters in length, 20 meters in height. Philosophy, science and literature. Philosophy, science and literature of the Egyptians. Egyptians excelled in science, technology, literature. They excelled in mathematics, astronomy and philosophy. They developed sundial, water clock and glasses. They devised a solar calendar. They calculated 60 seconds for 1 minute, 60 minutes for 1 hour, 24 hours for 1 day, 30 days for 1 month, 12 months for 1 year, 5 days were added end of the year. Egyptians introduced a solar calendar in 4200 BC. What did Egyptians excel? They excelled in science, technology, literature, mathematics, astronomy and philosophy. What did they develop? They developed a sundial, water clock and glasses. What did they devise? They devised a solar calendar. What did they calculate? They calculated 60 seconds for 1 minute, 60 minutes for 1 hour, 24 hours for 1 day, 7 days for 1 week, 30 days for 1 month, 12 months for 1 year. How many days were added end of the year? 5 days. When did they introduce the solar calendar? They introduced the solar calendar in 4200 BC. Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamia refers to area of Iraq and Kuwait in West Asia. Sumerian civilization, Akkadian civilization, Babylonian civilization, Assyrian civilization were flourished in Mesopotamia. In Greek words, Meso means in between. Potamus means river. The region which lies in between Euphrates and Tigris, These two rivers flowed drain into Persian Gulf. Hence, this region is called Mesopotamia. Northern part of the Mesopotamia is called Assyria. Southern part of the Mesopotamia is called Babylonia. What is Mesopotamia? Mesopotamia is an area of Iraq and Kuwait in West Asia. Named the civilization were flourished in Mesopotamia. Sumerian civilization, Akkadian civilization, Babylonian civilization, Assyrian civilization. In Greek words, Meso means in between. Potamus means river. Name the rivers which flow towards Mesopotamia. Euphrates and Tigris. Euphrates and Tigris, where do these two rivers which flow and drain? Persian Gulf. What is the northern section of the Mesopotamia? Assyria. What is the southern part of the Mesopotamia? Babylonia. Sumerian civilization. Sumerian civilization is the oldest civilization in Mesopotamia. Sumerians settled in Tigris Valley around 5000 to 4000 BC. They settled in Central Asia. They developed many cities. Among the cities, Tippur was the most important city. Their writing system was called Curiform writing system. The kings became a chief priest of the society. Their political system came to end in 2450 BC. Where did Sumerians settle? Sumerians settled in Tigris Valley around 5000 to 4000 BC. Which was the oldest civilization in Mesopotamia? Sumerian civilization. Where did they originate? Central Asia. Which was the most important city of Sumerians? Tippur. Who became a chief priest of the society? Kings. When their political system came to end, 2450 BC. Next, Akkadians. Akkadians ruled Mesopotamia from 2450 BC to 2250 BC. Akkadians ruled Mesopotamia from 2450 BC to 2250 BC. Sargon, he was the famous ruler. He ruled Mesopotamia for more than 100 years. Akkad was the ancient city here. The city was renamed as Babylonia. Babylonia at present it is the largest commercial and cultural centers in West Asia. When did Akkadians rule Mesopotamia? 2450 BC to 2250 BC. Who was the famous ruler of Akkadians? Sargon. How long he ruled Mesopotamia? More than 100 years. What was the ancient city? Akkad. How this city was renamed as Babylonia, which is the largest commercial and cultural centers in West Asia at present, Babylonia. Babylonians were called, Semitic peoples were called Amorites. They came from Arabian desert. They moved towards Mesopotamia, hence they were called Babylonians. Babylonia was their capital. Hammurabi, he was the first ruler of Amorites. He was the sixth ruler of Babylonia. Hammurabi, he ruled western part of Mesopotamia, state of Ur and state of Babylonia. Hammurabi, he was the greatest lawmaker. Who are called Babylonians? Semitic peoples were called Amorites. They came from Arabian desert. They moved towards Mesopotamia. Hence they were called Babylonians. What was the capital of Babylonians? Babylonia. Who was the first ruler in Amorites? Hammurabi. Who was the sixth ruler of Babylonia? Hammurabi. Name the regions were ruled by Hammurabi. western part of Mesopotamia, state of Ur, state of Babylonia. Who became the greatest lawmaker? Hammurabi. Assyrians ruled Mesopotamia around 1000 BC. Assyrian kings became a chief priest of Ashur, god of Assyrians. Assyrian governments were controlled and maintained by rulers and governors. Ashur was the capital of Assyrians. Assur-banipal, he was the famous ruler. He maintained a famous library. The famous library which consists of maintenance of Curiform text. They worshipped the god of Lamassu for protection. They worshipped the god of Lamassu, and this god which held for protection of life of the people. When did Assyrians rule Mesopotamia? 1000 BC. Assyrian kings became a chief priest of Ashur. Assyrian kings were god of Assyria, who controlled and maintained by Assyrian governments, rulers and governors. Which was the capital? Ashur. Who was the famous ruler? Assur-banipal. What was the name of the god which was worshipped by Assyrians? God of Lamassu. This god which is used for protection of the welfare of the people, life of the people. Society, state and administration. Society, state and administration. Typical cities. Typical cities were covered by cultivable lands. Fortified cities had a temple called ziggurats. Temples lie in the center of the city. Temples were maintained by priests. Priests only collected the tax from the people. Rulers ruled the country. Rulers were owner of the cultivable lands. Both kings and priests occupied the top of the social hierarchy. Scribes maintained tax accounts. Temples acted as a storehouse of goods and services and commodities. Assemblies were created for maintenance of administration. All the peoples were not allowed to live in these cities. Name the cities were covered by cultivable lands. Typical cities. Name the cities have temples, fortified cities. Name the temples were found in center of the city, ziggurats. Who maintained the temple of the city? Priest. Who collected the tax from the people? Priest. Who owned the country? Who ruled the country? Rulers. Who were owner of the cultivable lands? Kings. Who occupied a top social hierarchy? Both kings and priests. Who maintained the tax accounts? Scribes. What was created for maintenance of administration? Assemblies. What acted as a storehouse of goods, services, minerals and commodities? Temples. Food and agriculture. Mesopotamian peoples. Among the Mesopotamia, agriculture was the major occupation. Irrigation system was the best source for development of agriculture. Mesopotamians cultivated wheat, barley, onion, grapes, apple, dates. They domesticated cattle, sheep and goats. Fish was one of the very important part of their diet, which was a very important major occupation in Mesopotamia, agriculture. Name the factors which are more responsible for development of the agriculture. Irrigation activities. What did they cultivate? They cultivated wheat, barley, onion, grapes, apple and dates. What did they domesticate? They domesticated cattle, sheep and goats. What was the very important part of their diet? Fish. Trade and exchange. Trade was a very important activities of the Mesopotamian civilization. Traders imported goods. Traders imported goods from artisans. They exported their goods to various countries, for example, Syria, Asia Minor, Iran, and Indus Valley regions. They travel in ships for trade. Temples were acted as the bank to provide loan to the traders. Mesopotamian documents have a reference to loan and repayment with or without interest. What was the very important economic activities of the Mesopotamians? Trade. Whom did traders import the goods? Whom did traders buy the goods? They bought the goods from artisans. Where did they export the goods? They export the goods to various countries, for example, Syria, Asia Minor, Iran, and Indus Valley regions. How did they travel for trade? They traveled in ship for trade, which was acted as the bank and lent the loan to the traders, temples. What was the Mesopotamians' documents? Mesopotamians' documents have reference to loan and repayment with or without interest. Religious activities of the Mesopotamians. Mesopotamians' religious activities were called polytheistic religion. Polytheistic. Mesopotamian religious system are called polytheistic. They worshipped various god and goddess. They worshipped Enlil, god of sky and wind. They worshipped Nil, goddess of grains. Ishtar, god of love and fertility. Kings were considered as the representatives of the god on the earth. They developed a rich collection of myths and legends. Ethics of guild commerce was written on the cuneiform writing. Cuneiform writing. What is called a polytheistic system? Mesopotamian religious system are called a polytheistic system. Name the god of sky and wind, Enlil god. Name the goddess of grains, Ninlil god. Name the goddess of love and fertility, Ishtar. Who were considered a representative of God on the earth? Kings. What did they develop for rich collection? They developed a rich collection of myths and legends. What was written in the cuneiform text? Ethics of guild commerce. Hammurabi's law code. Hammurabi's law code. Hammurabi's law code is one of the very important legal documents. It is applicable to all crimes. It consists of 282 provisions. It is related to family rights, slavery, trade, taxes, and wages. It was got from sun god Samos. It was got from sun god Samos. It is the oldest law code in the world. It was based on severe principles. For example, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. What was Hammurabi's law code? It is the legal documents. It consists of how many provisions? 282 provisions. Okay, where it is related? It is related to crimes. It is related to family rights, slavery, trade, taxes and wages. Where this law was got from sun god Samos. What was the severe principle of this law? This law was used for eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Cuneiform writing. Sumerian writing system were called cuneiform writing. Then the shape of the letter in the form of which is called cuneiform writing. It was evolved in 3000 BC. It is the earliest script in the world. This script is used for commercial activities, commercial purpose, and writing letters and stories. The script, which is very important for giving a lot of information about the Sumerian civilization. What is called a cuneiform writing? Sumerian writing systems were called cuneiform writing. What is the shape of the letter of the cuneiform writing? The shape of the letter in the form of which is called cuneiform writing. When this system was evolved, 3000 BC. When this system was evolved, 3000 BC. What is the earliest script in the world? Cuneiform writing. What is the importance of cuneiform writing? Cuneiform writing was used for commercial purpose and writing letters and stories. What are the significance of cuneiform writing? Cuneiform writing, which plays a vital role to provide a great information about Sumerian civilization. Science. Mesopotamians excelled in science, technology, literature, mathematics, astronomy and philosophy. They developed multiplication and division. They calculated 60 seconds for 1 minute, 60 minutes for 1 hour, 24 hours for 1 day, 7 days for 1 week, 30 days for 1 month, 12 months for 1 year. They developed water clock and lunar calendar on the based on movement of moon. They developed a medicinal system. It is called Diagnostics Handbook. This book, which indicates their scientific understanding of herbs and minerals. Herbs and minerals. What did Mesopotamians excel? Mesopotamians excel in science, technology, literature, mathematics, astronomy and philosophy. What did they develop? Multiplication and division. What did they calculate? 60 seconds for 1 minute, 60 minutes for 1 hour, 24 hours for 1 day, 7 days for 1 week, 30 days for 1 month, 12 months for 1 year. What did they develop? Water clock and lunar calendar. Water clock and lunar calendar on the based on movement of moon. What did they enrich? They enriched a medicinal system called Diagnostics Handbook. It indicates their scientific understanding of herbs and minerals. Contribution of Mesopotamians. Mesopotamians invented potter's wheel, invention of potter's wheel, invention of cuneiform writing, invention of Hammurabi's law code, invention of calendar system. Calendar system, Hammurabi's law code, calendar system, Hammurabi's law code, cuneiform writing, potter's wheel. These were very important contributions of Mesopotamians towards the world. Chinese civilization. China had 2 major rivers. China has many rivers. Among the rivers, China has only 2 major rivers. One is Yangtze River and Yangtze River. Yangtze River and Yangtze River. China has many rivers. Among the rivers, China has only 2 major rivers. For example, Yangtze River and Yangtze River. Yangtze and Yangtze River. Yangtze rivers were known as the Yellow River. Once the Yellow River was called the sorrow of China because it caused frequent floods. It caused more damage and destruction for lives and property of the China. Hence it was called the sorrow of China. Whereas in China, prehistorical Peking men lived in China 7 lakhs to 2 lakhs BC. Neolithic communities lived in China 4,500 BC to 3,700 BC. Once China had a number of city-states, later they became a part of Chinese Empire. China has how many major rivers? Two major rivers. China has named the two major rivers which flow in China. Yangtze and Yangtze River. Name the river was called Yellow River, Yangtze River. Why this river was called Sword of China? Once this river which caused frequent floods and caused more damage and destruction of lives and property, hence this river was called Sword of China. Name the people who lived in China in between 7 lakhs to 2 lakhs BC. Prehistorical Peking men. Name the people who lived in China in between 4500 BC to 3700 BC. Neolithic communities. Neolithic communities. Si Kuangdi. Si Kuangdi. Si Kuangdi means the first emperor of China. Si Kuangdi means the first emperor of China. He was the founder of the Qin dynasty. He was given the title of Son of Heaven. Period in between 221 to 206 BC is called Imperial Era in China. Period in between 226 BC to 221. Not 226, 221 BC to 206 BC. It is called Imperial Era in China. Si Kuangdi, he was the first emperor. He was given title of Son of Heaven. He constructed a great Chinese wall. It is one of the world wonders. He constructed a great Chinese wall. It was used for protection of the entire Chinese empire free from nomadic invasion. He constructed a road system also. He constructed a road system for integration of the entire Chinese empire. What is the meaning of Si Kuangdi, first emperor? What is the meaning of Si Kuangdi, first emperor? Name the dynasty was formed by him, Qin dynasty. What was the title which were entitled with him? I mean, Son of God. What is called Imperial Era in China? 221 to 206 BC is called Imperial Era in China. Who constructed a great Chinese wall? Si Kuangdi. Why did he construct this great wall? He constructed a great Chinese wall for protection of Chinese empire free from nomadic invasion. Why did he construct road? For integration of Chinese empire. Terracotta. Terracotta refers to a large collection of terracotta various images found in China. Terracotta army refers to large collection of terracotta warrior image found in China. Si Kuangdi and his emperors, Si Kuangdi and his soldiers. Si Kuangdi, he was the first emperor and his soldiers were murdered, assassinated in the battle. 210 BC to 209 BC. In order to respect them, honor them, Chinese maintained construction of terracotta army. This type of army which is found in northern foot of Luzon Mountain. Northern foot of Luzon Mountain. What does terracotta army refer? Terracotta army refers to a large collection of terracotta warriors image found in China. Why this type of warriors image were maintained by Chinese in China? Due to assassination of Si Kuangdi and his soldiers in 210 to 209 BC. Where this type of terracotta army found? It is found in the northern foot of Luzon Mountain. Philosophy and literature. Philosophy and literature. Philosophy and literature. I mean, in China, there were 3 important poets and social writers. First, Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, he was a great Chinese poet, philosopher, social reformer, economic reformer. Then he was the founder of the Taoism. He was the founder of the Taoism. He argued with people. He argued desire is the root cause of all evils. Desire. Desire is the root cause of all evils. Who was Lao Tzu? Lao Tzu, he was a great Chinese poet, philosopher and social reformer. Then what was formed by him? He was founded Taoism. What did he desire? What did he argue? He argued desire is the root cause of all evils. Next, another important point. Example, Confucius. Confucius also, he was another very important Chinese poet, philosopher and social reformer. His name is called Kung Master. He insisted cultivation of one's personal life. If once the personal life is cultivated, family life is regulated. Once the family life is regulated, national life is regulated. Who was Confucius? Confucius, he was the great Chinese poet and philosopher and social writer, social reformer, political reformer. His name means Kung Master. What did he insist on? He insisted on cultivation of one's personal life. Once the personal life is cultivated, family life is regulated. Once the family life is regulated, national life is regulated. Next, another important social reformer of China, Mencius. Mencius, he was another great Chinese poet, philosopher, social reformer, economic reformer. He traveled all over the country to meet the kings and give his counsel to the emperor. Who was the social reformer? Mencius. What is the contribution of him? He traveled all over the country. He traveled all over the country and met the kings and gave his counsel, gave his advice, gave his morals and ideas to the rulers, how to rule, how to maintain the law and order, how to maintain the rules and regulation, how to give a proper life of the people. All the morals and guidelines were given by only Mencius to emperors. Contribution of Chinese civilization. Contribution of Chinese civilization. Chinese contributed invention of writing. After invention of writing, they invented paper also. After invention of paper, they invented gunpowder also. Next, they established Silk Road. 4 are very important contribution of Chinese civilization. Invention of writing, invention of paper, invention of gunpowder, establishment of Silk Road. Conclusion. I come to conclude this lesson. I taught this lesson very elaborately. Please, dear the students, go through this lesson, learn something and update your knowledge. Any doubt, please ask me. From this lesson, I explained about what is civilization, what are the early civilization flourished in the world, which was the best example of emergency of Neolithic agro-pastoralist community in the world. What is Egyptian civilization, which is the oldest civilization in the world, who are called pharaohs. What is the agriculture and trade system of the Egyptians? What is known as mummies of Egypt, pyramids of Egypt? What is the philosophy, science and literature of the Egyptians? Next, Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamian civilization, what is called Mesopotamia? In Greek words, Meso means in between, Potamus means river. Then what is the northern part of Mesopotamia, southern part of the Mesopotamia? What is known as, what about Sumerian civilization, Akkadian civilization, Assyrian civilization, Babylonian civilization? Then society and state and administration of the Mesopotamians, trade and exchange of Mesopotamians, Mesopotamian religions were called a polytheist religion. Name the gods were worshipped by them. Then Hammurabi's law code. Next, cuneiform writing. Science and technology of the Mesopotamians. Contribution of Mesopotamians. For example, they contributed 4 inventions in the world. For example, potter's wheel, cuneiform writing, Hammurabi's law code, then calendar system. Chinese civilization. China had many rivers. Among the rivers, only 2 major rivers in China. For example, Huang River and Yangtze River. Huang River called Yellow River. Yellow River was referred as sorrow of China. Reason it caused often floods, more damage and destruction to lives and property. Hence, this river was called sorrow of China. Then, name the people who lived in China. Ancient historical Peking men lived in China. Neolithic communities also lived in China. Xi Guangdi, he was the first emperor of China. Xi Guangdi, he was the founder of the Qin dynasty. Xi Guangdi was entitled with the title of the son of heaven. 221 to 206 BC, this year is called Imperial Era in China. Xi Guangdi only constructed a great Chinese wall for protection of the Chinese empire free from invasion of nomadic people. Xi Guangdi constructed a road for strengthening of, for integration of Chinese empire. Terracotta army. Terracotta army refers to a large collection of terracotta various images found in China due to assassination of Chinese first emperors Xi Guangdi and his soldiers in order to honor them. That's why Chinese maintained terracotta army. It is found in northern foot of Luzon. Then there are 3 important poets and philosophers and social reformers found in China due to their efforts and social service and sacrification and dedication. China was developed, Chinese civilization was developed. For example, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Mencius, these 3 great poets and philosophers played a vital role to give a lot of service, lot of information for the development of Chinese civilization. Contribution, Chinese contribution, 4. Chinese contributed many things, but 4 were very important contribution of Chinese. For example, invention of writing, invention of paper, then gunpowder and Silk Road also. Okay, so explained everything. Please, any doubt, please call me anytime. I am ready to explain you. I am ready to help you. Thank you very much for the students.